Welcome back, racquetball players and future racquetball players. Welcome back to intro. This is going to be intro 3.2. And the reason we have these 3.1, 3.2 is because this darn camera keeps cutting out on me, and so I miss stuff, so I have to go back. Anyway, welcome back, and I'm going to date this thing. This is June 25th, 2011, Saturday, okay? So let's talk about racquetball again, okay? I have to make some corrections, or whatever. I have my cheat sheet, by the way. It's kind of funny. I talked about, in my previous intro videos, about the cicadas and the fire truck sirens, the four-wheelers, the cell phone ringing. Well, in my last one, there were this kid yelling pretty much throughout the whole thing. Well, has any of you lived by a railroad track or an airport? For instance, years ago I was in the Navy, and I was on an aircraft carrier. And when we're at sea, I slept right under the deck of the aircraft carrier where the airplanes landed, and it was right under cable number 3, and that's the one they like to hit, number 2 or number 3, and it's a big bang, bang, and it's a shock, and you have to wear earphones at first, and then you get used to it, and then you don't need the earphones, so you just get accustomed to it. So it's amazing what we don't notice. So the last video, I didn't really notice the kid yelling in the background because there's several children that live around here and they yell and scream. But here I talk about the cicadas and the fire truck sirens and all that. So anyway, we still had disturbances. Tonight is a nice night, summer night, not too hot. We have pretty birds singing right now. Corrections I wanted to make. Bo Diddley, that square guitar, sorry, my bad, it's rectangle. It's not square, it's rectangle, okay? I discussed reach for the kids. It's all about reach. Okay, let me explain that. Reach for an adult that can handle this 22-inch racket. The adult or the person that's bigger has the reach for this racket, whereas a child will have the reach for this. Now, the younger person, the child, or the smaller person, I mean, see right there, there's at least 3 inches. It's what you can handle. So yeah, they'll have the reach with this racket. I'm not talking about this racket because they're not ready for this racket yet. So they'll have the reach for this racket because it's manageable. You know, what you can manage at your height right now and your reach. Okay, so that's a clarification on reach. The strings and tension and the small bed. I was talking about the small bed, and yeah, and this has got a big bed. So yeah, this big one, the 22 inch, is going to have a big spring on it. You know, like a big springy tension. Where this one has a shorter spring, but that's where the strings come in. So that's why I talk about poly strings, or co-poly, which is copolyester or polyester strings in the mains. And then whatever you put in the crosses, which is considered a hybrid stringing, whether it's nylon or synthetic gut, or even another copoly or poly. But if you have poly on poly, definitely have that vibration dampener in there, because it could beat up your arm, okay? So the string bed, you know, that's a short string bed, but I've got poly strings in the mains and nylons in the crosses, but this thing is professional grade, if you will. Here we go with the four-wheelers again. Okay, the kids, okay. But this can bang with this if you know what you're doing. If you know how to play, or if you want to learn how to play, you can be on the same court with this one. The guy or girl handling this racket can actually beat this racket, okay? Alright, the other thing I want to talk about, thank you for a wheeler, okay, I'm going to move the camera back, and what I want to tell you is this is something I recommend because I have jacked my arm up, you know, that's why I wear that thing around my arm, and then I have pulled a hamstring as well. So if you don't do a little stretching exercise before you play, there's a very good possibility you could get hurt or injured. So I'm going to back this camera up and show you just two of the things. If you don't do anything else, it takes you 3 minutes to do these two exercises. I'm going to back the camera up and then I'm going to show you. We're doing squats and what I call push the wall over. So I'm going to pull this camera back and show you. Hey, what do you know? We're still recording, okay? Alright. Alright, here we go. Alright, this is the first thing I do. It's called push the wall down. So you put your hands up here and you put your weight on one of your, you know, whichever foot you put back. Right now my right foot. And you're just kind of stretching it. You can feel it. And you're pushing against the wall and you're pulling the tendon, the muscle in your leg. Okay, nice and easy, but you're doing it, you're putting pressure. Then you switch. Now my weight's on my left foot and I'm rocking it back and forth. And as you rock back, that's when you feel the tendon, okay? And you're pushing on the wall. That's why I call it push the wall down. And then you go back to the other one and rock back on your heel and you're pushing the wall down. Back to your left. And all your weight is on that left foot right now, on the heel. You can rock mostly on the heel. And then all the weight's on the right now, okay? The next one is just simple squats, okay? Maybe 20. You can put your hand on the wall, whatever. 1, 2. Do about 20 of these things, okay? Squats. That's only two things, okay? That's all you need to do. So let me get this set up again if we're still recording. Alright, here we go. Okay. Alright, so that's the 2 exercises. When I give this camp, I'm going to give this racquetball camp to these children or younger people, age 9 to 13, get them in the game, because this racquetball game, by the way, racquetball, from what I understand, it is the fastest sport in the world other than highlight for people. You know, I'm not talking about racing, you know, and the Formula One and NASCAR and all that, but as far as people sports, racquetball, it might be the fastest sport as far as your body. So you need to exercise and get in shape because you're going to feel muscles you never felt before. Here's another one of those Pro Kinex rackets. And there's one of those buttons. Vibration dampener. This was built in. This is a Silver Ace by Pro Kinex. And that's built in. The only way you can take this vibration dampener out would be to cut the string, so it's there for a reason. And we talked about this. By the way, for you young kids, here's that pretty little plastic racket again, which, even though it's pretty, Nice pink grip, green frame, plastic racket, rainbow strings. But this thing will beat with this thing. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Okay. And of course, here's the original. That's pretty yucky. But that's what they had back in the 80s, okay? So, if we can get through this, let's see, why play racquetball? Or any other sport? Well, for the fun of it, for the exercise, cardio, it's fun, and to compete, you know, and for me, I like to win, and I don't play to win. I mean, I go on the court, and I'll put on my best game, and it's just like any other game, whether you golf or swim, which swimming is also really good, but any sport, I mean, you're not going to be on your target every time. So it's all about a routine, and you get into it, and you enjoy it. And I told you before, I like racquetball because I don't have to chase the ball versus tennis. And good exercise, I sweat like crazy, work all kinds of muscles, and it's fun, and it's competitive, and be a good sport. That's the whole thing. If you lose, that's okay. You'll win one, you'll win two, you'll lose one, you'll lose two, that's okay. Get in the sport, get fit, get healthy, get fit, okay? And for this 3.2, as long as this hasn't cut me off, I guess this is the rest for intro 3.2. And thanks for joining us, and you guys have a great rest of the weekend. Talk to you later.